Time now for Football Friday Night, powered by WCTV.tv.
It is Friday night, football is back, and we are not horsing around. About that, the defending GIAA AAA state champs, the Valwood Valiants, on the road to Hamilton County to open up 2024.
And they're feeling the sting in Thomas County, hoping for another repeat on Jackson Street as the Yellow Jackets look to swarm Monroe on opening night.
But first, a new era in Bearcat country, but a tough ask right out of the gate as Bainbridge tries to knock off the defending 5A state champ, Coffee Trojans. Ladies and gentlemen, you made it. We're back. Football Friday night 2024. And what a great feeling it is. I'm Ryan Kelly. She's Alison Posey. Sydney Wicker will join us in Bearcat country in a minute. And yeah, you can't ask for a much bigger game out of the gates.
No, and it's week one, and we've got a lot of defending state champs looking to repeat as state champs. A lot of really good games tonight. Some state crossing games going on. We had everything.
Speaking of state crossing, that is no secret to either of our Game of the Week coaches. Of course, Jay Wells, the new guy in town in Bainbridge, taking over after some time at Navarre, but had already coached in South Georgia. And that guy on the right, Mike Coe, the former head coach of the Madison County Cowboys, who last year took Coffee to their first state championship in Georgia. Purple and gold on full display in Centennial Field, and hopefully in the win column as well. That's where we find our Sydney Wicker for our Game of the Week. Hey, Sid.
Hey guys, you mentioned the new leadership, but what about filling the void of 17 seniors from last year's roster for the Bearcats? And it doesn't get tougher than going up against Coffee, but in Georgia, you're never going to get an easy schedule. Let's go ahead and roll the tape on this week's Game of the Week. Football's back in South Georgia, and the Bearcats ready to roll in their new era of football. Head coach Jay Wells leading his team out for the first time. A quick 3-and-out for Bainbridge to start things off, and after 3 plays for a first down, Coffee will hand this one off to Tyrese Woodgett. Cuts to the right and takes off running. No one is stopping this guy anytime soon. The senior rushes in for the first touchdown of the night. The Trojans will lead 7-0 quick. Bearcats offense looking to respond. It's Brooks Hines in the shotgun. He finds David Cook over the top, but as he comes down with the ball comes out. Fumble on the play. It's Contavious DeBruce who picks this one up and takes it to the house. A scoop and score for 6 more. Trojans up 14-0 now. The rushing attack would continue for Coffee as they would go up 28-0 with less than 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Mistakes would continue to eat up the Bearcats, from attacks from the ground snake to the high snaps. Bainbridge struggling to get on the board. Before the half expires, Jordan Phillips finds a wide open Zine Preston as Coffee leads 35-0 heading into the half. And they just continue to pour it on in the second half too. Thankfully, the Bearcats getting on the board late in the fourth quarter, so this one won't end scoreless, but the defending champs picking up right where they left off as Coffee goes on to get the win 59-6. Well, guys, avoiding that shutout was key. Otherwise, that would have been the first shutout at Centennial Field since 2020. Now, good news for the Bearcats is that they're still without quarterback Cam Scott and wide receiver Luke Griffin, hoping to see those guys return back from injury soon. And good news, too, this wasn't a region game, so still lots of football to play. That's going to do it for me at this week's Game of the Week. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yes, it's always tough to do that with some of your top playmakers, but of course, listen, Coffee is a state champion for a reason.
Yeah.
They've built a machine. Jay Walls is going to get things rolling. It's too good of a job. There's too much talent for that not to happen. But unfortunately, no matter what happens, anytime someone opens Max Preps, this is what they're going to see first game of the season, 59-6.
Yeah, 100%. And when we talked to Coach Walls over the summer, he said that it was going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year. He knew that they were going to have to kind of shuffle some things around, work some things out. It's week one, though, and we know what Mike Coe did at Madison County for so many years. Not a shock to anybody that knows what type of coach he is, what type of person he is, that Coffee's doing what they're doing.
Hey, they remember November, so hopefully by then they'll forget week one
100%.
in August. But hey, we've got South Georgia gold and plus a rivalry like no other. The War on 84, plus a whole lot more coming up on your Football Friday night. And you knew for week one who we had to highlight as our Battle of the Banner represent. How about the reigning champions, the Bainbridge Bearcat student section, who brought it all season last year. This morning and morning pep rally got awarded with their brand new banner. Of course, if you're a student section, if you're a student, if you're watching us, if you would like a nice little banner, you should go out, make some noise for your team. Be loud, be proud, go sports. Welcome back to your Football Friday night, week one, of course, for South Georgia. And what do you say? People have waited a year. They've waited long enough. What do you say we get them to their football?
Let's do it.
Let's get them to their football. The Jackets Nest were the reigning 6A state champs welcomed in Monroe, and it didn't take Central long to get the party started. First play from scrimmage, Ahmad Ponder, rumbling, stumbling, looking like a young Maurice Jones-Drew. Nothing but green grass for the guy in blue and gold, all the way to the GIAA. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets, 7-0, and the horns are already blaring on Jackson Street. And in case you were wondering, the Central defense, yeah, they came to play too. Isaiah Andrews, sack lunch. Early drive for the Tornadoes. That forced a punt. But the Central ground game, they can't have all the fun. Jalen Johnson, Rodney Dunbar skies up in the air and brings it in. You may see that play again. Reservations for 6. It was 14-0, and plenty more where that came from. 54-7. Battle for the bucket next week at the Jackets Nest as Central hosts Cairo.
Best game of the night, Jasper, guys, because we have mini ponies. The baby Stormy, look at him, so cute. He's just 4 weeks old, little bitty baby. Hamilton County hosting the defending GIAA AAA state champs in Valwood. Showing off the talent early. Tate Snellgrove, Tristan White slips one tackle, gets to the sideline, 40 yards, goodbye. Valiant's on the board, 7-zip. Mistakes weren't made tonight. It's just game one. Trojans turn the ball over. Next play, they get it back. Valiant's air it out. Marvion Wallace, just a sophomore, picking it off. Next play, though, they fumble it, so back to Valwood and back to the end zone for the Valiants. White, once again, touchdown number 2 for him on the night. Valwood gets the big week 1 victory, 41-7.
Hey, let's go to the Hog Pen, where Colquitt County hosted West from way out west, Salt Lake City, Utah. And Colquitt's offense certainly looked coast to coast in this game. How about Tajavian Lamar finding the gap, 14-0 lead. There was a kickoff return, by the way, for the first touchdown of this game. Freshman quarterback Cohen Lawson continued to use Lamar as he dodged Panthers. Whoop! Whoop! Yes, sir, all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Hogs, and the Pen is just loving it. As time expired, though, early on, Brett Fitzgerald, that's a familiar last name. His brother's pretty good, and he's pretty good, too. A 38-yard field goal to give him a 24-0 lead to start the second quarter. But 2 touchdowns weren't enough for Lamar in the second with help from his offensive line right up the gut. Take a look at your final score. It was 31-6 at the break, 45-28 your final score. West has a long drive back west. All right, you know this is a great opening slate when the War on 84, Brooks and Thomasville, is this far down in the show. Yeah,
that's how good of a week it was. And this year's game in Quitman, a packed crowd on hand, hoping the Trojans gonna bring that hammer, and they did to start. Check this throw. Junior Burns finds the connection deep downfield through the beautiful setting sun there. What a way to score the first TD of the year. 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. How would the Bulldogs respond? They got an answer, guys. Cam Hill, DeMario Sawyer, open in the middle of the field, takes off, galloping. And
giddy up, young man.
Got a cue from the mini ponies there.
There you go.
Back with the rock, airing it out once again. A.J. Hill Jr. with the catch this time.
Rumbling.
That sets up this. Levante Cole finds our camera guy right away. Say hello, young man. Take those 15 minutes. T-Bell. They get it done on the road, 35-12, winning the War on 84.
Hey, new turf at Bazemore Hyder Stadium, but the same great Valdosta team hosting Tucker. And how's this for a highlight? A delivery for Prince Jean, who comes up with the catch behind 3 defenders. Cats fighting the end zone right after this. Dayron Foster in easy for 6. 14-6, Valdosta on top. The touchdowns just kept coming for the Cats tonight. An absolute thrashing at the Bays, 64-19.
Across town at the Concrete Palace, Lowndes hosting Jenkins.
Shout out to the Bridgemen.
They've got the rock rolling out to throw, but whoopsies, that's a guy. And Crimson, Lorenzo Munitin has a pick, but he doesn't have 6, just the pick. Stop short just for the goal line. More from the Viking, D. Jenkins looking for the screen, and while they make one man miss, they won't make Tyler Parker with the one-handed tackle from there. Heavy dive to Thomas Scoreboard, a young talent, making a couple men miss. Here he is, catching one out of the backfield, laying the stiff arm.
Yeah,
Get
take
out
a look
of the
at
way.
that.
Vikings roll tonight, no problem, 49-7.
All right, not a lot of Florida action tonight, but we did want to shout out our friends in Madison County. You may remember this scene a year ago. The scoreboard in Boot Hill completely destroyed until you fast forward to tonight. A new scoreboard unveiled in person at tonight's Kickoff Classic against Wicker. It's absolutely gorgeous. Head coach Bryce Harris told us earlier tonight the team amped to have it back on Boot Hill.
Our kids have seen it all week, you know, as they were putting it up, and it was pretty exciting. They were pretty jacked up about it. It almost makes getting it back to normal, you know, getting Boot Hill back to Boot Hill.
And I'd have to imagine the best thing about it is that the scoreboard showed the Cowboys on top, 29-10.
Huge win.
They win the Kickoff Classic over the War Eagles. All right, since we only have one state playing games that count tonight, we don't have enough for the big board, so how about a little bit for the little board? Westfield all over Brookwood tonight, 55-6. Miller County getting off to a new era with a big yo-ho-ho, 38-9. Mitchell against Lanier, the David Dean era starts with a loss, 41-27, but still lots of promise.
I was about to say, lots of promise there.
I'm not trying to,
for sure.
I'm not trying to boo-hoo that by any stretch of the imagination.
Berrien falling slightly short against Cook, 45-13.
Clinch doing clinch things, up 36-21, 32-14 Seminole winner. Cook over Berrien, 45-13. Plays of the week and your game of the week announcement right after this Sunday Football Friday night. Let's close the book on week 1 of football Friday night.
As quick as it's here. Like we always talk about, like, it drags and then it's here and now it's done.
But of course, if you're watching us on the WCTV app or you can go to Facebook Live, we got Football Friday Night Overtime coming up after this, so make sure you jump to that. But before we do that, let's get to plays of the week. Thomas County Central's where we're going to start. Jalen Johnson fires one to Rodney Dunbar, who ends up getting the nomination because he's the one who did the hard work of skying up to get it in. Central rolls Monroe on opening night.
Hey, let's head to Jasper. Hamilton County taking on Valwood. Valwood the winner in this one, but check this play from Hamilton County's Marvion Wallace going up to pick it off. Just a sophomore, Ryan. What a stud. Love to see it.
Future's bright for Cook, Coach Cook. Future's also bright for Brooks. They didn't get the win tonight, but they got a great catch here from number 8. Listen, Brooks fans,
help us out.
We don't know his name yet. We want to know his name. So please, somebody call us, somebody email us. But my friend, whoever you are a Play of the Week nominee. Make sure to vote on our website, WCTV.tv. And come on back next week. We're going across the pond. We're going international for the first time ever as the McClay Marauders look to down Wyndham in Dublin. And back home, we'll be talking about Rickards and Godby at the forefront on Gamecock Stadium.
So excited.
We got one in the books.
We got one in the books. We'll be in Ireland next week. A lot of big games, though. Should be a good season.
Yeah, absolutely. Alison will be out there. I will be back here with you on Football Friday night. Sid will be back in the field. But considering you're taking Madison Glazier with you, Josh Green, I'm going to take him with me. He'll be sitting on that anchor desk tomorrow.
I'm interested to see how he stays awake.
Yes, I'm interested in that. And also, Josh finds a way to be good at everything. I'm sure he's going to crush this next week. No pressure, Josh. Hey, stick on the app, head to Facebook, come join us on Overtime. See you next week.